Thank you, Rishi.
Yeah, the recording has been started.
Yeah, Rishi, thank you very much. So, guys, we'll be starting at 6:10. So, just wait for a couple of minutes. Let everybody join, and after that, we'll start. Thank you, Rishi.
Okay, okay.
So, Pratham, I guess we are good to go.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Just start with the intro, then I will take it.
Pratham, your voice is very low.
Yeah, like, am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Yeah, I guess you should start with the intro, and then I guess I will take over.
Oh, great. So, good evening, everyone. I, Tushar Sharma, I welcome you all to the last session of Android Study Jams, which is organized by Google Developer Student Clubs in collaboration with Amity University Mumbai, Gaya College of Engineering, I2IT, Indian Institute of Technology, Billai, Brahma College of Engineering, Parul University, and Indore Institute of Science and Technology, as well as Avantika University. So the agenda of today's session is we will teach you how to make a very an application using Kotlin. It has a backend which is Firebase, and along with that we have used Kotlin language for linking, and for the front end we have used XML. So we have Pratham here. So he's from I2IT. He's the Android Study Jam facilitator of that campus, and he'll be demonstrating as well as explaining how he built that particular app. So over to you, Pratham, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you, Tushar. So, hey everyone, good evening. I hope you are all doing well. So, like after completing the particular units, you might be wondering like what to do next. Like, how can you work with some external libraries? How you can integrate them in your particular app? For example, like Firebase. So today we are going to like discuss, and I'm going to like introduce you like how you can integrate Firebase in a particular app, and also I will be like telling about a chat application which I previously developed, and I will explain you like all the UI related stuff, the front end and the basic backend, and if you want you can also develop the same. I'll be also sharing the repository link at the end. Okay, so let's start. I'll just present my screen. Second. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Is it, Rishi?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, okay. So let me just give a small walkthrough, like what was the app basically I developed. let me just play it. Okay. So like you all must have completed, I guess, the units. If you have not, I guess you should like start with the units, because this is the units are going to give you like, the main exposure to the basic working of how you can work with Kotlin using in the like Android, how you can develop the app, basic function, basic modules and all that. So yeah, let's go through the app. So this is particularly the login page here. I've developed basically I actually use a purple and black theme, but only for the login purpose. I just like tried something different. This is a basic login screen, and let me show you the sign up screen. So this is the basically sign up screen, and this is the theme that is purple and black, which I've like followed over the app. Let me just go inside the login. One second. Yeah, I guess you should log in. Okay. Yeah, so this is the like chat section basically. Like whenever you click on new message, so here are all the like global users who are registered in this particular app. This I've just created for the demo purpose, and yeah, that's all. Like you can just normally you can chat here. Example, testing and send. Okay, so I will just explain you like how all the UI and this stuff related work, and this is basic exit. So basically it's logs you out. Okay, so let's start with this basic app. Actually it took me over like 2 to 3 weeks to develop. There are some like I have also used some external libraries, for example Picasso, for uploading it towards the profile picture and that. Then I have also used Groupie adapter. I will explain you like if you have all known about the recycler view, which is basically normally it's used to display contents, and it is much more memory efficient. Let's start with the login. So this is the login screen basically, and you might all know the components about this, right? Like whatever the text, the static text you can see here, it's basically text view. And normally I always try to use the like linear layout, but here I had to also use the scroll view in order to fit other contents as well. And I guess you should also like follow these procedures. Like normally you should always stick to linear layout, and then inside linear layout you can try your different layouts. For example, there are various other layouts. For example, like we have a constrained frame table layout, relative layout and all. But normally in industry, if you know, the standard is mostly they stick to linear layout, and inside they try to develop with the other layout. Okay. So this is like the basic we all know. Like this is the login. This are all the text view and stuff. And this is the edit text where I will be taking the email. This is the password. As you can see, this is all the inside like the code which I will be telling you. So this is where I take the email address using the edit text, and this is where I take the passcode. And this is a like, like the button and stuff. They are like below here, as you can see. I've also included like another section. So like if you don't have an account, so you can like sign up. So on the sign up, whenever you click on the sign up, you will be going to another activity, and that activity is the sign up activity screen. And yeah, that's all about like the UI of this particular stuff. Let me just explain with the backend like how this actually works. So the main like I would say heart of this particular app is basically sign up. I will explain you why. Because the main Firebase and all that main crispy things, they are all in particular sign up page only. I've included in them. And yeah, so this is the login page. I hope my screen is visible to everyone, like all the text. Okay, so
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
yeah, okay, thanks, Tushar. So I will also tell you some other standards. Like for example, normally what you all do is like inside on create. Inside this, you try to like for example, you want to link some another, for example, text view. The text view, for example, from the main activity. Like for example, I have to take this email. Here we have an email here. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it might be here somewhere. Yeah, actually the thing is I have taken the like instead of typing it here, I've actually used a string XML from here. If you all know, this particular file, that is string.example. Why I actually use this? There's a reason. For example, if you want to convert an app, for example, if your device language is changed from like English to French, Marathi, Hindi, or something like that. So for that, normally what do developers they use? There's a procedure. Means normally they typecast this inside this particular file, strings XML. So whenever I want to use this particular login title TV, that is text view. So in that place, login will be placed. Okay, this value, this is basically key value pairs. Okay, so whenever I call like login title TV, the login will be like this particular ID will be replaced with login. And why I do that, I will let you know. Like inside, if you see this style 3 icon, there are like style. I will show you style v2 and style. One second. There is actually one more language. Yeah, basically like when we try to convert this particular language into another. For example, inside like Marathi. For example, if you want to like change the device language. So normally to change the device language, string XML is basically used, and you can like mention your another language also. Like for example, I can just take this sign in like the same string, and I can paste it in another file, and that file you can change it with the file you want. So whenever the device language will change, for example from English to French, so that particular text will be changed. Otherwise, if you don't do it, that is also fine, but only it will that this default language will be like displayed whenever the device it's in another language rather than English. Then this is all like advanced stuff. Let's start with the basic one. Okay. So yeah, talking about here, why I want to mention this particular standard. This normally industry standards are there, that whenever you declare in on create like inside the class, this is very bad technique. I will tell you why. Because whenever you try to load an app, okay, so whenever that particular class gets loaded, for example, on create function is called, at that time the memory consumption will be very high. Okay, at that time it will take very much time for the app to load. For example, if it's a long app, for example some data needs to be loaded, for example some table or some user data, some large user table data, so it will take very long time. So the industry standard, what normally they practice is they try to declare it globally. Globally means inside, just like this is the app compact activity, so this is a login activity, this is a login Kotlin file, that this is a class. Basically inside this globally you just have to declare it, and the tag what you have to use it late init var. And as we all know, in Kotlin we declare the type also. Like for example, if it's string, so you just have to write colon and then string. So the same thing you would be doing is, but just using the particular module. That is, if it's image view, then image view. Otherwise, edit text or whatever module it is. Now the function of late init var is what? Basically, whenever you load the class, okay. So after loading the like a particular when you load the app, so at the time it doesn't load all the context. That is, whenever I try to load this particular app, when I go back and I try to load this app, okay. So all of this content won't be loaded at a time. Why? Because there will be high memory consumption. To avoid that, what we do, we put this late init var. So whenever the content is been like showed in front of you, for example, right now in front of me, login, this email, password, and login. Okay, so this button this is currently visible. So when it is visible to us, at that time only it will be loaded in the memory. So the memory consumption will be, like it will gradually change every time. And the second like important like benefit from this is what? You can access this with like another class also, like another function also. For example, you all know the activity lifecycle, right? It's like on create, on create, on start, on resume, and then we have on pause, on stop, and on destroy, right? So in this way you can like share this particular like module. For example, if you're using sign up or user password edit text, so every time you can instead of passing it to another class as an object or as a like some data, instead of that you can just declare it globally. So you can globally you can have access between all the activities. For example, here in on create I have just used two functions here, on create and on resume. So I did not have to like share the data from on create to on resume. Okay, so I just declared it globally, so I can even access in on resume also. And this is in the Firebase we actually have various stuff. I will also introduce some Firebase, like how we'll be integrating that. The next page is the sign up. Okay, let me show you the sign up page. Yeah, here it is. So in the sign up page, what I have actually done and what you can also do is like normally we also have inbuilt image viewer or media, media player to load this all particular image to a particular user. So what I did is I use an external library. This external library is known as Picasso. Okay. So let me just show you how you normally do. Basically in the Gradle file, you have to include one small implement in this sentence, this particular statement you have to write. um, Here it is. So see the Picasso. Okay, you just have to include this Picasso, and you just and then have to click on the sync Gradle. Okay, once you Gradle sync, it will download all the like dependencies, and then you are good to go with the sign up activity. All you have to do is in this particular sign up like activity, where it is, yeah. Um, Yeah, here it is, circle view. Inside this, basically I will be loading the Picasso. Okay. So yeah, and circle view, this is also another external library. Basically what I did was normally, in order to display a particular image, it will always come out into square shape. So, in WhatsApp, you might be seeing the circle, right? So this is the same type of library I have used, that is circle image view. What it does is it bends the corner, like it introduces some radius for it. And this is all like external library. So you just have to write circle view, circle image view, that's all, and you're good to go. And yeah, this is a source. I will be changing the IC profile pic, whatever you're like currently seeing. This is just the default template here I have introduced. You can change it in the build file, that is the Kotlin file which is connected to it. And I will be explaining how the particular the activity works. So this is all the declarations that all the UI elements I have mentioned, and this is the main important stuff, that is the Firebase. Okay, let me tell you, in the previous year, from 2018, before that, Firebase, they only had one type of database. Let me just show you that screen. I guess the screen is visible. Okay. So basically, as you can see here, Firestore database and real-time database. So these two both database were they were not there. Basically, in the previous years, only real-time database was there. So users, that the programmers, what they had to do, whatever user login or user sign up, whatever the data is there, they had to save inside the real-time database only, and it will be in the type of hierarchical structure. See, like this, for example, let's say in like we I am having this latest user messages and user messages. So what I'm basically in the previous years, what the programmers had to do, like let's say we will create one more tab here. Okay. And that would be, for example, let's say for the users only. Okay. And that's all. So under the user, we will be having the username. So in this type of hierarchy, it would be they used to save, but now they have differentiated that they have created different two database. First is Firestore database and then real-time database. And let me tell you, what is the main difference. So what I normally do is, and like I have gathered knowledge about this, is that the real-time database is basically much more faster than Firestore database. But on the other hand, for example, when you want to apply some filters, for example, you want to provide you want to search a particular user in a whole database. So for that, you might not rely on the real-time database. That's a drawback for it. But you can rely on Firestore database because it comes with multiple filters. So it has some fast searching techniques, and basically it works as like a collection. So there are multiple collections you can have, users, the profile picture, whatever you have. You can start with a collection. In that collection, you can have documents, and in that documents, it will have a unique field. For example, now these are all users. Okay, and each user, that is each document, represents a single unique user. Okay, as you can see, this profile pic is actually the address, that is the profile which is stored in the storage. And this UID is actually the unique ID which I have generated. I will also tell you how. And the username, whatever the username is like stored in the field, that is same copied here. Okay. And yeah, real-time database you can use. The one major benefit of using real-time database is that I guess you might all know, right? Like while using WhatsApp, if you all know that if the other user is online or not, you can know between them if the other user is typing. Okay, so that particular feature is also similar to this, but that is when you're using real-time database now, and that time, like if the other user is typing, you can use that feature also to like tell the other user that the other user is he like typing or not. So that is one more benefit of using real-time database. But for other stuff like using for users, for storing the users or some traditional for the users, you should always go to the Firestore database. Otherwise, still it's okay if you can, if you're like feel easy to use real-time database. It's also very it's okay. Yeah, so here I will tell you, here it's all the same, like whatever the sign in page, here it you can see, this is basically again the same, whatever the static text you're seeing, this is all text view. Okay, like here for example, again have used a scroll view layout. Inside I have a linear layout, so this whole is inside of a scroll view. Okay, this particular sign up, as you can see, it's again a text view. This all are buttons, actually these are image view buttons. Okay, and this is, as I have said, it's a circle image view component. And these all are again text and edit text. Here you can see your text and edit text. Okay, basic ones. And yeah, that's all. If you want to know like about this backend stuff, how it actually flow, like the flow diagram of this, I will just let you know. As I said, this is the main page, main important page of this app. Why? Because there are two things. First, like the login app just verifies if the current user is actually registered on the Firebase or not. Okay, so basically the creation of user does not involve in login, but in sign up, you need to create all necessary methods. You need to use all of them in order to add the particular user data to the Firebase. Okay, so for that I will tell you how you can just do it. So basically for Firebase you require three things. Okay, it also require two things, but it depends if you're using a profile picture. As you can see here, if I go here, I will be selecting a profile picture. Okay, for example, if I select this picture, okay, this particular picture, in order to store this particular picture, you require one more thing that is known as Firebase storage. Okay, let me just show you that. Basically it's here, the storage is, as you can see, the storage is related to the Firestore, and inside you can create the profile pics, and you just have to give this link, this, as you can see, the GS Kotlin messenger. So this particular link you just have to get it and paste it in the particular Firebase. I will just let you know how it is done. So let me just start. So what is this Firebase auth? Okay, so basically if the user is registered, okay, in your app, and the database wants to know, like the Firebase wants to know if that particular user, is it a valid user or not. For that we have to use Firebase auth. Okay, and if the current user, whoever is using the app, if he is registered in the Firebase, so he this will have some unique ID. FBM auth will have some unique ID, otherwise it will be null. And one more thing you should know is about a nullable concept. Okay, in Kotlin, in this particular app, we actually have nullable bundle, nullable concept. Okay, you should know that. And this is a major advantage of using Kotlin instead of Java, because in Java the apps might crash if there is a null value used or some null value is assigned for that. But in Kotlin it is not. I will let you know. I will show you how it is. How to know. See, for example, as I like sign in here. Okay, so I had to test like is this null value really working or not. Okay, so as you can see here, null, and here hello. Okay, so this particular user, I without any value, I created this user and it was successfully created. Okay, I didn't give a check. We could have given it, but I did not, just to show you how it actually works. So if this particular if this process I would have used in Java, the app might have crashed, or the Firebase, every time I need to access it, it will always crash the other apps, whoever have installed them. So this particular nullable concept is also present in Kotlin. You just have to check whether the given data, is it null or not. Okay. For this, as you all know, how we can link a particular UI element. For example, as if we have sign up back button. Okay, in order to link it, we just use find view by ID, r.id dot sign up back button, and just assign it to this. And we have, as we all know, how we declare it. As you have learned in the previous session, you just have to declare it first and the type of it. For example, the sign it back button, it was of type button. Just declare it, and you need to assign it on create while creating. So just assigning it, you just require find view by ID. That's all. So it's the same way I have used for all other techniques. Like for all other components, I've used the same technique. And let me show you how the Firebase will work. This method FBM auth, that is Firebase auth.get instance. So this is the main method. Like last time what I said, that if the system wants to know that the particular user who is using the app, is he a valid registered user or not. So this is a function which actually tells, okay. For example, if the user, like I, if I'm using the particular app, if I had previous registered with the app, I will just write this function and I will get my credentials, okay. But if I'm not registered and then I'm just trying to get use this function, so it will always return a null value here. For FB MAuth, it will be always null. And the for the same thing, like to get instance, this is all done for the FB profile image also and user database. And this three I'm actually using to store the FBMO to know the getting the users credentials, and profile images is to store the user image in the particular database, that is storage, and user DB to get the messages. Okay, let me just show you. And I have also provided regression, regular expression. Sorry, I have also used this regular expressions in this. I will just let you know, tell you like how I have implemented them. So for example, let's say if I click on sign up back button, okay, and then I will be starting this login activity. That is a back button which we came from login screen. When we come back to sign up, we again require, if for example if the user had known like, yeah, I previously registered it. So in order to go back, I've just provided one sign in back button here. And the same for that for the login. So after clicking on the providing the login details, credentials, the user will just click on the login button. Here it is. After create account on this login button, so he can just again go back again to that screen. And after let me show how on the create account is done. So whenever the user clicks on the create account, this is particular, this is a particular main function. So first what I'm doing is, first I'm checking the email. To in order to email, I've provided one function for regular expression that checks for a valid email address, and how that can be done I will show you. This is a email address function. Here it is, email check. Okay, so basically this function, what I have done, regular expression is also present in Kotlin. Now how can you done is, basically there is a command known as pattern.compile. In that you just have to mention what is the regular expression. For example, as we all know, what is the first valid field in email, right? For example, you might have something like name or surname or something like that, extra characters, and you can say numbers or something like that. So this is first field is about characters and numbers. Okay, and we then require an extra something symbol, that is the @ symbol. Okay, so this @ symbol, as you can see, this is provided in the next section. And after @ section, we require something like the provider, the mail, whoever is a mail provider. For example, let's say if it's a Gmail, or just a mail, or for example outlook.com or iCloud. Okay, so for that also we require is just text, because at that no one will be using any numbers. So here you can see only text is used. And after that, for example, let's say icloud.com or .com. Okay, after that we require a .com method, or any other related to, for example, .edu, .in, or related to something. So just characters. So for that also the same, this is used only characters, that is alphabets are only validated against that. And that's for the email, like how this pattern is verified using regular expression. This is actually for the only for the email. For password, what I have done, for password, again I have actually provided three things. The very first thing is it requires some, as we all know, the standard how we can use a complex password. We require some standard special character. You might include white spaces, but I have not included any white spaces here. And the length of the password should be at least 4 characters. Okay, and above 4 characters and above. So that is how I have done. You can also take a picture of this particular regular expression if you want to implement this. Otherwise it's okay, I will be sharing the repository link at the end. And after checking the email, after validating the email, for example, now I have entered the name, I have entered the email. Okay, after validating the email, and after then validating the password, now the very next thing is about to get this particular profile picture. How am I doing that? So for that, what I have done, one unique function I have used, a unique function, that is a UUID random. This actually provides a, basically what it does, it provides a universal, like a unique ID. It generates a unique ID, and in order to convert it to string, I require a type of string. So .toString function is here. So whenever I call this function file name create, So it will return a string which is of unique, like it consists of unique random characters, and that I'm actually using to save it on the particular Firebase storage. As you can see, let me show you. See the characters what you are seeing here, 0, 8, 1, 2, 6. These are all random characters. In order to generate such a random string, I'm using this function which is known as uid random dot uid. Okay, so this function you can use. Now I will tell you how the picture is obtained. So yeah, here you can see, in order to get the reference from the database, that is I want to store link my particular app. I want to get this particular location, that is this particular server location, that is this bucket location. This is known as a bucket. If you know Kubernetes and Docker, Firebase at the backend, it uses bucket to like work for the particular user. So this is a bucket location, and inside this I have created a folder known as profile pics. Okay, and this is a like you can just copy the folder path and you can use it here. Okay, so in order to get the reference, but once you like implement this Firebase in your particular app, you don't have to always get this particular location. That is this, you don't have to get this particular string.
Hello, Pratham, you're not audible.
Not at all, or what? Hello?
Audible, audible.
Audible, sir.
Okay. So like, are you guys are like understanding, right? Or shall I go a little bit more slow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will just I will just go with this, and I will explain you like in slow way, like how I have implemented this. Okay. So last time, like as I said, you don't have to always get the particular link in order to, like save in this particular location from an app. You have to always take this link and paste it here. All you can do is, as I said, you have to use a function. As I said here, as I have said, the get instance method is used. Here you can see Firebase storage dot get instance. So this will get me the location of that particular bucket. Once I get the location in the FB profile image, this is a variable here. Then I'll have to use another function which is known as get reference. Let me show you. Yeah, here it is. So all I have to do is get reference. In this reference, you have to mention the folder path. Okay, inside the bucket, now there might be many folders. For example, profile pics, then for example, chat pics, or something related to that. So this location you just have to mention. Once mentioned, that's all. Now file name, as I said, I want a unique file name every time because I don't want same. For example, we have Akshay and Akshay. Okay, every time I don't want this. For example, there are two people on the particular chat app. Okay, and they save the name as Akshay and Akshay, so it will collide. So for that, what we have to do, every time we have, whenever user uploads a profile pic, that should be unique. So for that, as I mentioned, that random UWID you have to use. So this file name is where I use that particular function, file name create. So I will get a random UID. Once I get the random UID, I just write it using the $function file name. That's all. So what this particular function does, dot get reference, it will create a location there. First, if it will find the location. If it exists, then it will select that location. But if it doesn't exist, it will create that location. Okay. So once it gets the reference of the particular profile pics inside profile pics, it creates this particular file name, and it will put the file profile pic URI. Now this profile pic URI will tell you what, whatever the user is selecting here. So let's say I select this particular stuff. Okay, I will show you how can I get this particular file. Let me just show you. Yeah, I can show you how the image was selected or what the image path is. So what is the URI is basically the local URI path. I can also change it here. For example, if image selected, okay, I can make it like, for example, $profile pic URI. Okay, now you can just see it here. 1 second, let it sync. Yeah, I guess it's done. So see, as I select any pic, for example, I select this pic, you can see a random. Yeah, so this is the local file path. Okay, now why do we want local file path? Just to check if I have selected any image. So like the user have, certainly we want with assurity that the user have selected an image. because if the user have not selected any image, so it will be null again here. So we don't want that. We want every user to be, like registered with this particular a profile photo. So this is what I have done. So once you get the profile local path, you just have to get the file that you can see here, dot put file. I just use this function dot put file, and this will just put the file into particular bucket, that is online bucket here. Here it is. There it will be putting it. Okay. After that, there are actually, see, whenever you use any Firebase functions, for example, when you use the get reference function, let it be Firebase, Firestore, Firebase, real time, Firebase, storage, anything like that. There are some, functions, listeners, I will say. Like, for example, here is add-on complete listener. Like that, there are many listeners. For example, success listener is there, failure listener is there. Okay. So, or like cancelled listener is also there. So what I have done, I've just implemented one function that is complete listener. That is whenever this particular activity is carried out, that is whenever the user selects a picture and that picture has been uploaded in the Firebase bucket, once that process is done, after that I will just display one message about that the user have uploaded the pic particular, for example, like that. Okay, here you can see logged. I have even logged here in the logcat. I have to play it again because when I have to actually do it. So in order to show you this, but normally I will just log it here. Okay. In order to know that user have logged in or not. And to show it to the user, I have used profile pic URL. So that's the location of the profile pic. This is for development purpose, but in the real world, you normally don't display such things to the consumer. Okay. That is a customer. And yeah, that's how you can upload a particular pic. Then coming to the main path, that is the how the user can be registered. Okay. So for that, here it is. Um, yeah, profile upload we have done, I guess. Yeah, user DB upload. Yeah, this is the main thing. That is the unique ID. So you might be seeing this in the Firestore database. In order to get the particular user's unique ID, this particular unique ID, we require a unique ID for this every user. So again, I have used the same stuff. I have like got a unique ID for this. So for that, so whenever the particular user uses dot get instance function, it will get a UID. Okay, that user ID I'm assigning to the user ID and convert it to get the unique ID. I'm just using FB, as you can see, fbmot UID dot toString, converting to toString, and then uploading the profile pic URL. As you can see here, user is equals to user ID. The user ID is the unique ID. Sign in username, that is the name which is particularly here. So whatever the sign in, this name, whatever I'm typing, this is basically the sign in username. Okay, converting to it to string. And yeah, that's all. And the profile pic URL, that is the profile which we uploaded in the bucket. That URL also I need in order to create the particular user. That is, I will tell you why. And see, these three fields, they actually refer to this particular stuff here. Here you can see these three fields: profile pic, UID, and username. So these are the same stuff. The UID is this particular UID. Here it is, user ID. That is the particular UID. And the sign in username is particular this name. And the profile pic URL is the location of this here. In the storage, you can see in order to get the location, this particular file location, in order to get it, this is actually stored here. Why I'm using this, because after user signs in, it also required to display the profile pic above. As you can see in WhatsApp, you have sometimes you go in settings, you can see your own profile. So for that, I have saved this profile pic URL here itself, so I can use it for the future reference also. Yeah, and that's how normally in order to create a user. Now let me tell you how I am creating this particular collection. Okay, so first I need to create some simple collection. I will start some with the simple collection. So for example, I'm having this user collection. Okay, once I have a user collection, that is this collection user. As you can see, this is the path. Now inside user, I might have various different, I want different user IDs to be registered. So in order to do that, we have the function dot document. In the dot document, you have to mention the unique ID. The unique ID, that is, as I mentioned here, the unique ID is the UID, the random UID which we got. So dot document UID, this will, what this function will basically do is, this will create this particular field. Here you can see under users, inside we have documents. So this particular field this will be created, this random UID will be created. And after that, what I have to set, that property, in order to set this particular property, that is this user, one second, uh, this user has this particular properties, this fields, I'm talking about this field. In order to set this, there is a function known as dot set. I just have to use dot set and the user, that's all. So your particular user is created by, in this way. This is how like the user data or the object is created in the Firebase Firestore. And that's all. That's about like how the user sign in process is done. And others also have included. um, yeah, I guess that's all about, I guess, sign up and the Firebase. The very next thing is, now after this main two stuff, like what will be the user display screen. I've, like I mentioned in the beginning, nowadays you might be know, like how many of you, like they already know about recycler view. Like many of you must be knowing, but like have you all implemented? If you have just implemented, just put it in the chat. Like you know about the recycler view or something like that. Have you ever implemented?
The chat is disabled for the participants, but they have mic permission, so they can unmute themselves.
Okay, okay, okay. So like any one of you can like just unmute and tell me like if you have ever worked with recycler view. I guess many of you like have no experience, or yeah, I guess many of you like don't have experience. So let me tell you one thing. Like explaining recycler view is very simple, but implementing is kind of hard, kind of complex. Why it is, I will tell you. Um Here you can see in the chat log, message screen profile layout. New message. Yeah, see, the thing is, I will tell you, I will give a short explanation of recycler view. What is recycler view? Normally, like you have many messages, right? In the WhatsApp, you can see as you have chat with previous person, so you have many messages. But in order to load so many messages, for example, there are thousands of people. Okay, you might have chat in the past. So in order to show display the thousand of like these people, the chat of this particular people, every time you load the app, so this thousand like the data to show this thousand people chat is very difficult. It is very like it consumes a huge amount of memory. So to avoid that, normally people like programmers use a recycler view. So the benefit of using recycler view is that, for example, if this particular item is there, let me just make it one second. Yes, I would be using is, let's use a text here. No, I guess if text is not allowed here. Okay, anyways, so normally what this recycler view does, it avoids this much memory consumption. What it simply does, how many chats are visible to you right now? Okay, so only those chat are, it will, what it will do, it will fetch only those chats data. Okay, so as you scroll down, as soon as you scroll down, the new chats come out, right? And that chats, new chats data, then it will start to like purge the data from the server and to display it to you. That's the basic amount. Like it will try to avoid like as many as memory consumption. It try to very use very less memory as possible. But implementing recycler view is kind of complex. Why, I will tell you. For example, you might say this is very simple, right? This is just a simple scroll view and we have a recycler view. But at the back end, I will tell you, it requires 3 to 4 files. The very first file is known as for binding. So I will just write, one second, I'll just show you what it actually requires. Okay, for example, this is a very simpler recycler view. Okay, for example, this is a normal recycler view. Here you have all your text, your data, whatever chats you are having. Okay, in order to work for the simple recycler view, you require three things. The very first is the like model class. This model class is actually the one which gets the data, which like purges the data from the server. Then we require someone to bind this. Okay, in order to bind, we have a library. Basically that is the main not library, I would say that's a file, it's a Kotlin file. So this will help us to bind this particular layout with this model. And one more we have is to bind this particular, we require is a type. For example, this text, For example, let me show you. So this is, I don't know if most of you can see this, but there are like item 1, item 2, item 3. So how this thing should be viewed? Like for example, here you can see chat from sender. Okay, chat from recipient. So this is the view, like this is the view. Okay, in order to and this is the view which is repeated. So this particular view, it will be copy pasted multiple times in this particular library. That is, in this particular recycler view, inside this recycler view, this multiple views will be copy pasted. So that's why you require one more thing, which is known as view. Okay, but you can all avoid this. Normally in industry, what we do is, instead of using every time recycler view, we use groupie adapter. Okay, and it is also known as groupie viewer, groupie adapter, groupie recycle, anything, but it's normally it's known as groupie. Okay, you can use this groupie, and it's very easy to implement groupie. Okay, you don't have to like every time add this particular stuff. It's very easy. I will show you how it is done in the chat log. As you can see, um, okay, I guess I might be having it here somewhere. This is for the model. I guess you have worked with the like in the, you have attended the previous session, so you might know about the model and stuff. In the chat log, I must get that. Yeah, actually, it's in this way. I will tell you. So first you need to bind it. Okay. So for that, first you need to get the reference. That is, you need to get the messages. So as I said, I have used real-time database. So get the real-time database. I've declared it here. As you can see, Firebase auth and Firebase database. This is the one I'm talking about, Firebase database. So after getting this Firebase database instance of this Firebase database, I will start getting the message. So for this, I have tried like listen message. Here it is, as you can see, and this is the adapter. Okay, so the file which I told you about, which binds the whole data, which bind this model with this view, like with this view, this it actually basically binds this all stuff. That is known as an adapter. And instead of every time using a custom adapter, you can also use a groupie adapter. Here it's a groupie adapter. So it's very simple. It just the all the stuff, that whatever file you need to create, the 3 files or the 4 files, everything is automated. You just have to write here you can see groupie adapter. I can see I just have declared the groupie adapter, and adapter is equals to groupie adapter. That's all. That's only thing you have to do. And like to implement a groupie adapter. And also you should know that whatever external libraries I'm mentioning, for example, groupie adapter, Picasso, or something like that, so every one of them, you should every time include them in here. For example, right now, like I have been using Firebase database. You can see I've implemented those Firebase database also. So the main task of the Gradle is to get all this file libraries so you can work inside your activity. Okay, you can use this particular mention the functions and all. There is a groupie declaration implementation. This is currently, I guess, 2.9.0 version. I guess 2.10 have also come, but I am not currently aware. But at the time of building this app, I've been using 2.9.0 version. Okay, so here you can see, just declare adapter is equals to groupie adapter, and that's all. Now how to add inside this adapter, how to add the data, whatever data, that is the messages which you have been seeing. So for that, what I have done, here you can see the listen message function is basically called. Now I will tell you how it is done. Okay, so once you get the, as I said, after using the get instance method, you will be using the get reference method. Okay, now your reference is, I will tell you, reference is here in the form of like this. In real-time database, I have the reference using, for example, user messages. Okay, so in user messages, I will be like whatever normal texts are there, they will be inside user messages, and whatever the latest text, that is the user have not currently read yet, so they will be inside the latest user messages. So like, you know, the past two texts which have like, you know, for example, the user have sent, so that text I'm saving in latest user messages and also in the user messages by default. So in order to get this reference, as I've said, let me show you. Here it is. So after getting the reference from here, and this is the two important stuff, this FB mauth is actually the current user who is using the UID. That is, for example, if I'm particular this person, for example, 446 WOT. Okay, so I am this particular person. So I want to get a reference of this. So for that, you just have to mention user messages slash my UID. My UID in the sense FBMOT UID, which I'm getting here. And slash user ID. This user ID is the user ID of your friend. Okay. So that user ID you will also get. Don't worry about that. So you can receive the text messages in that way. Okay. Now once you get the reference, after getting the reference, all you have to do is ref.add child event listener, and this function will work in a like a loop. Okay, basically. So for that, what you have to do, whenever a new message comes in, for example, if A is sending a new message to B, so your A is nothing but user ID and B is me, that is FBMOT UID. Okay. So whenever A is sending some message to B, that is B is me. So there will be this function, that is this listener will be invoked. This particular child added function will be called. This function will be called. After calling this function, I will tell you what will happen. In this message, you will get the latest value. That is, I will show you the chats. Here you can see inside. So for example, 46W, this is, if this person is me, these are all my friends. Okay. These are all my friends inside them. As you can see, the MPQC, these are some random UID, but these are all my friends. Okay. So you can see inside I'm having a text from them. So this is from ID, that is nothing but my friend, and this ID MOV. This is the ID of the text message, and this is what the ID I have sent, the text what I have sent for them. And the timestamp is just, if you want, you can display in the WhatsApp message. You can see at the below you have timestamp also, so that also you can save it. And the to ID is me. Okay, so this is how you can differ, like who is the message going to and who is the message going from. In order to differ, you just have to two fields, from ID and to ID. From ID is the one that is my friends who is sending me the message, and to ID is me, who is the message being sent to me. Okay, so this is, you can see to ID, and from ID will be matching. For example, you see, as you can, from ID is matched here. This is my friends, and to ID is my ID, which you can see in the very top hierarchy. You can see here, it's me. Okay, and the same can be seen. I will tell you how. For example, this 46 is sending message to R4. Okay, as if you go in R4 right now, see here you have the R4. So you will always have again under inside you have a child which is known as 46. So if inside 46, if we go, you will have the same message here. As I said, MOI, like this is a like unique ID for the text message. Same ID you can see here, and the same message you can see here. Okay, now this is like for the universal. This is not visible to the customers or any like consumer who are using the app. This is only visible to the one who have access to the Firebase database. Okay, and I guess yeah, that's how you can get the ID from your friend and your message from like from the database itself. So whenever a new message is sent from the friend to you, this particular on child added, this function will be invoked and it will be saved. So you in order to add inside the text that whenever you write any message, um, 1 second. So whenever you write inside the message, just again I have to sign in to show you. So like, see, whenever I write inside this, hi, this is something, I guess it might be here. Okay, hi testing or hi there. Okay. So whenever I write something inside that, this particular function is invoked. And in order to add this particular message, the message.txt, okay, that is this message field. Here you can see this text field is there. Okay. So this, in order to add this text field, you just have to write message dot, adapter dot add, and this is the model class from which we will be extracting the message. Message is the object. Okay, this message, it actually consists of all the fields. This all fields, that is from ID, text, timestamp, to ID, this all is inside this particular message object, and from that object I want this particular text field. So this is what I'm going to add in this particular adapter, and that's all. This is how the listen message will work. Okay, there are again other functions also, like for example, child change, child remove, child move, or child cancel. Now this I will tell you in simple, in real world example, what does child remove and child change does is, child remove is where whenever you delete the WhatsApp message, you might see that message has been deleted. So this particular function is always called in real, like if you're like implicating the WhatsApp, if you're like creating a clone of WhatsApp, you might use this end up using this function. and that's all. And the same logic is used here in send message. Okay, you just have to change the FBM auth, and you have to create two references instead of one, because one is the one you're sending from yourself to the friend, and second you're sending from the friend to yourself. Means to like save the message in both the directories. That's all. So the same stuff is here. See, as you can see, add on success listener, and here I just have to send the message, that is whatever the chat message you have to write. So you just have to add this into particular object. This is the object created chat message, and that's all. You just have to send it to them. Okay, you just have to then the reference value, that is reference yourself. This is yourself and this is your friend. Okay, so ref dot set value, and the message, that is the object. This is the chat message object, and rf2 is the chat message to object. I guess, yeah, that's all about like how you can send the text, how you can get the text. Yeah, and lastly, I guess only one thing is remaining, that is the profile layout, like how you can see many users are there basically. So for that, I have also chat log, new message screen I have. Yeah. So as I've said you, like I've told you, like I've been using this Firestore database to get the user's reference. Okay, this documents, this all stuff. So for whatever the user data is, I'm saving it in the Firestore database, and whatever the message of the user is, I'm storing that in real-time database. Now to get this user names or whatever the names are there, or whatever the profile pic are there, in order to get this particular, again the same process is there. Firebase Firestore, as you can see here, a reference of Firebase Firestore. Then all you have to do is again get instance. This method is common to everyone. Once you get the instance, all you have to do is one thing, that is get reference. Here you can see this is basically the user item. As I told, in order to bind this particular stuff, that is to bind this model and the data. To bind this, we require another, that is adapter. Okay, and here I'm using the groupie adapter. As you can see, here it is, groupie adapter again. So it makes our task very simple. Means in just 3 lines, you're creating the whole adapter process. Yeah, and I guess that's all. Here you can have, I will show you how the collection is added. So basically how to fetch this user. Here you can see I want to like get to know the new user. So I will just click on new message, and this all, in order to get this all data, I will be showing how I will be getting is you just have to take the reference, as I said, fb reference dot collection. Now the collection is the one which you want to refer. For example, I'm currently referring to users. Okay, so inside user section, these are all users. So I want to get this all users data. So you just have to write collection dot users and dot get, and that's all. Okay, after getting this, you will require to add one listener. And as I said, whenever you're using Firebase, there are multiple listeners, like on success, on complete, on cancel. There are multiple listeners, and it's up to you which you want to implement. So right now I have just used on success listener. So once I get every user, what I will do, I will just add it to the my groupie adapter. Okay, I just use the same function as I said. How to add the text messages is adapter dot add and the object. Okay, and I'm just typecasting and creating this object. I will show you how. This is the user item. This is actually the model class. Basically this model class, what it does, whatever the fields are there, UID, the username, and the profile pic. So I'm typecasting it. I'm actually combining it and saving it in an object of known as user item. Once I save it in user item, I will just add it to the adapter. Okay, and that's all. That's how it will be saved. And in order to display this whole, I'm actually using this adapter. So this is the view holder. Basically, this is, as I said, I'm saving in the type of object of user item. So what this user item fields are there? First is the UID of the particular user, then it's the username of the user, and then it's the profile pic location, the bucket location which I mentioned previously. This location, as I told you, we might require it later. So this is where I save the location of that is the profile URL. Okay, once I typecast into the object of user item, I just have to implement a layout. I want something because I have the data, but I don't know where to display the data. In order to display the data, this is the layout. Okay, this function get layout. You have to override this function basically. So this layout will help us to like whatever the data is there, it will help us to bind the data to this particular layout, and that's all. So yeah, and as I said, Picasso, you can use basically there are two functions you need to use with Picasso: get and load. Picasso.get.load, and there's a profile URL, that is the URL which I have mentioned here, which was saved in the user's object. That's all. And I will be loading where you want to load. That is the target. So dot into, and this is the ID basically that is on what you want to load. So basically, I'm loading it into the image view. Okay, that is named ID. Its ID is new message profile. That's all. So this is how the data will be displayed. That is whatever the data you're saying, this is how it's actually loaded. I will just show you the profile layout. Here you can see this is basically the image, that is a circle view which I have used. And this is the text view. The text view is just for the username. Okay, here I can have one more field, for example, latest message or timestamp extra I can also use. Only the changes I have to then again then also like bind the data here. So this is where I set the username. This is the line view holder dot item view dot find view by ID, and this is the end message username. And I'm setting the username text as username, which I fetched from this particular groupie adapter. And after that, I'm setting the profile URL here. That's all. So that's how the this particular activity or this view is bind to a layout using the data which we fetched from Firebase. And I guess that's all from my side. If you're having any doubts, I guess you can, Tushar, do they have any access to chat section or?
No, I guess they don't have any access in the chat section.
Okay, then you can just, one of you, like, if you have any doubt, you can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Yes, guys, if you have any doubts, please unmute yourself so that Pratham can clear it. Please just raise your hand so that you can ask your questions.
Okay, I guess I know it might have been much complex today that we have been like going directly
I
to
guess
Firebase.
Shashank had a doubt. Shashank, do you have any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
Shashank.
go ahead.
Sir, I already made a quiz app, sir.
Yeah, okay. Next.
After that, I think so many people are doing that. I think can I make a e-learning resource for if I click on website that will open my website through that my which I posted link on app.
Okay.
From that they can get related to competitive exams PDFs and books. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, I guess Tushar might answer this. I guess this is related to the event, right?
Yeah, it's related to the event, and Shashank, it's completely fine. It
E-learning.
depends on. Yes, Shashank. It's completely
Yes,
fine.
sir. Yes, sir.
The app you're making, it's completely fine. It depends on you what kind of app you're making.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I already
perfect. All the best.
sent you sir, that quiz app in GitHub
Yes,
repositories.
yes. I have seen that. I've seen that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else who wants to ask any questions, please unmute yourselves.
I guess to who have the chat access, Tushar, can just they like turn it on so I can like post the repo link also.
Uh, it's not possible from my end, but I guess we already have their email IDs. Yeah, Mrityunjay, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Actually, I want to know how did we get the recording videos because I missed the videos.
Recording videos
Today,
will be uploaded on a YouTube channel named GDSE AUM. So if you search on YouTube GDSE AUM, you will find the channel
will you
GDSE AUM.
will you repeat once again? G
GDSE GDSE, that is Google Developer Student Clubs, Amity University, Mumbai.
My team was movement. Okay, sir.
Is it possible for you, Pratham, to share your screen and just show it to them?
Yeah, one
No, sir.
second.
Actually, I know.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Okay then.
So I'll just share my screen here. So here's it. So just type GDSC AUM, okay, and you will find the all the recorded videos here. Like these are the videos for the first three Android study jam sessions. So today's video will be uploaded on this channel itself.
Okay.
It's GDSC space AUM. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay then. So anyone else? Okay, Ansh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hello to sir. Sir. I want to ask question. The app which I have to submit, uh, does it some basic or I have to make it to some advanced level? Like
It
I
depends on
can.
you. Yeah, it depends on you. It depends on your understanding, how much you have understood. If you have gone to the advanced level, then definitely you can make a app who is of a advanced level. Else, you can submit a basic app as well. That depends on you, not an issue.
Like I have made some app a dice roll a simple one, but added much more functionality than the given in event.
That's great. That will be great. If you're modifying a particular app, that's fine. And if you're adding new feature, that is very good. That's good. You can
So
submit it.
I can submit that dice roll app
Sure,
advanced
sure. Why
version.
not? Sure, definitely. Okay, Shashank. Shashank, I guess
Sir,
your
one
doubt
more
is
doubt,
solved.
sir.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Sir, Akshay sir posted a few guidelines to how to create app for only like 3 to 4 he steps he have given, sir. In that the dice roller is not there actually. Like it should have proper aim or problem. It should useful, meaningful app. He said that like only it is meaningful app, so I will accept that. I already made an app actually.
Yeah, so Akshat, would you like to answer this?
Yeah. So, hello, Shashank.
Hi, sir.
So, as I said, you have already made that quiz app, right?
Yes, sir.
So, it is already useful. So, don't need to worry.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, you was very busy now, sir. You are not replying, and you said don't message so many times. So I stopped and asking Tushar, sir.
Because my exams are going on, bro.
It's okay,
Thank you, sir.
Shashank.
Thank
Now I guess everybody's fine. I guess your doubt is solved. So all the best and
Sir,
congratulations for making that. Yes,
Yeah, I
Ansh.
sir,
guess.
thank you, sir.
so even I can submit that app also now.
Yes, you can.
Yes, Akshay. Yes, you can. You can.
I guess Rishi can stop with the recording.
Yes.
Yeah. They can start with the recording, and I would like to give the vote of thanks. So thank you, Akshat. Thank you, Pratham,
Yeah.
for today's session, and it was a brilliant session. I
Yes,
guess
sir.
participants must
One
have
more, sir,
gained a good
please.
amount of knowledge from this. Yeah. Yes, yes, Shashank.
Yes, Shashank.
Sir, he have mentioned, sir. Akshat sir has mentioned one page. I will say, sir. One page something he mentioned, sir. Like 4 steps. Briefly, we have to make a documentation or what, sir? Like the
It,
pager should be organized as follows: problem statement, solution with screenshots, functionality and concept used, application and future scope.
you need to mention all that information in your GitHub repository.
So okay, sir. In info, actually, like
Yeah.
in
Yes,
intro.
the thing is, it should be properly documented so that it becomes accessible to us to understand what you have made.
Yes,
That's
correct.
all.
Acha, acha, okay.
Yeah.
Like commenting.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
guess.
sir. For code, we will keep a double slash like commenting, no, sir. Like that, self-explanatory.
Yes, the markdown. Yes, you have to follow the markdown if you want to.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay then.
Okay.
Thank
Hello,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Hello,
Yes, go ahead.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you please share the link of this recorded session so that we can go through with it if we need it?
Jati, Yes, Jatin.
Yeah.
Actually, this session will be uploaded on YouTube. The channel name is GDSC AUM.
Okay.
GDSC AUM. So just search it on YouTube and you will find the recording by tomorrow.
Okay, fine.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pratham. Thank you, Akshat. Thanks for joining. And it was a wonderful session. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone. Thank you to all the
Thank you.
participants for joining us
Yes.
for the whole Android Study Jam sessions. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Yeah.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
It's our pleasure, sir.